everyone, so today we have Yvonne with us, and Yvonne's very kindly allowed me to do a video on her. And we're going to do a lovely fresh skin, and then we're going to do a little bit of a nice day look with the eyes using our cream shadow sticks. So Yvonne, you like to keep your makeup nice and natural.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
So the key will be so that you don't feel it on your skin, but that we just kind of enhance the skin and the eyes without making you feel like you're somebody totally different. Yeah. So I'm going to start by using our Fresh Skin foundation in the shade 2.5, and I'm going to apply this with our buffer brush. So we're going to put a little bit onto the brush and then just tap it around the face. So just a little bit. It's always better to start small and build up if you want, but it's much harder to take away than it is to build up. So always start small, and then we're going to tap it in so that it's making it become like part of the skin, but also it doesn't feel like it's going to be cakey. It's going to get the max coverage with the minimum amount of product doing it like this.
So because usually I just use my fingers.
Which most people, a lot of people do still use the fingers. The one thing with the fingers is what happens is you heat up the skin, and so you produce oils then, which means that your makeup won't set properly for the day. So you might find that it slides, or you don't get the same coverage when you use your fingers because a lot of it ends up on the hands. So that's kind of why we kind of stick with the brush. Like something like this, the buffer brush, that's synthetic. It doesn't absorb product, so everything that's on the brush will go onto your skin. So it means you save a lot of product. So I'm not going to go around the eyes. We're going to keep the eyes for our concealer. So we're just tapping it in everywhere else. So for under Yvonne's eyes, I'm going to go in with our Instant Under Eye Concealer, and I'm going to use the shade Medium Tan 4 today. So I'm using Medium Tan 4 because it has a pink undertone, and pink will sort of take away any sort of blue or dark shadows underneath the eyes. If you have more redness under the eyes, then I would go with shade 3, which has a yellowy undertone, which is going to lift that bit of redness. So I'm going to take that. You can apply this straight to your face with your own concealer, but I'm going to put it onto my hand just for hygiene. And I'm going to go in with my concealer brush next. So we're going to start down low, down where the dark circle would finish, and concentrate on the inner corner. So if you close your eye for me for a second, I'm going to bring it in here, and then we're going to tap it. So once we start blending from down below and work our way up, it means by the time I get underneath the eye, I'm going to have very little product under there, which means I'm not going to risk any creasing or caking in any areas that might have fine lines. So we're just going to tap it in nice and gently. So if you look up in the air for a second, Yvonne. Do you ever use concealer usually? Would you if you are wearing it?
Sometimes, yeah, if I am wearing makeup, yeah. And I'm never really that sure because how much to put on of it, you know?
Yeah. It's always best to start with a small amount and work your way up, because like that, the last thing you want is to have a load of product that then you're trying to blend somewhere, you know.
And I never put it up on top of my eyes there like that.
On the lid?
Yeah.
And it's funny because the lid is actually a place where we can get a lot of discoloration. And so if you can take the discoloration away from the lid, it really brings the area out. Okay, so that's one eye done. So you can open your eyes there for a second just to show the difference. So it's just brightened up all underneath the eyes, and by me tapping it in well like this, it sets the concealer as well as we apply it. So there's not going to be need to put powder around the area, which again is going to keep it more hydrated and it's going to keep it brighter looking. Sometimes if you put powder on over a concealer around the eyes, it can make it look a little dry, and especially if there is fine lines or wrinkles, powders can tend to sit if you over apply them. So I kind of prefer, if possible, to steer away from it if we can around the eye area. Okay, so now that our concealer's on, I'm going to go in and do the brows because I'm going to let the base set and settle and do what it's going to do before we actually set it with any powder. So I'm going to take my little spoolie brush and just brush the brows up. And I know Yvonne, you said you don't usually wear anything in your brows, so I'm not going to go too full on with them. I just want to give them a little definition so that we have a frame to the eye, but not one that's going to scare you at all. So I'm using our Complete Brow Kit in the shade Warm Brown today. So I'm going to take a little bit of that powder on my spoolie and just follow the shape of the brows. So I'm not going to create a new shape because she's got lovely shaped brows. I'm just going to fill in any sparse areas. So the next thing I'm going to do then is just set the base. So again, like that, Yvonne doesn't have overly oily skin, so we don't need to put a whole lot of powder on. The only powder I want to put on is in the areas that possibly will shine throughout the day, which would be, say, around the nostrils, into the T-zone, and they'd be the general areas. And believe it or not, by keeping powder to a minimum and only setting the areas that you need to set, it'll keep your makeup on longer because you're not caking it or building it in any areas, which can cause slide during the day. So I'm using our shade 2 of our translucent powder, and I've just put a bit in my lid onto our powder brush, and I'm going to just lightly tap it onto the areas that we need it. So that this will do as well, it'll minimize the appearance of any fine lines or pores, and just make the skin look nice and super smooth. But again, it's a really small amount, so just nice and gently tapping it in to those areas that we need it. And for our blush, I'm going to go in with our Glow Easy cream blush in the shade Peach. So again, you can apply this straight onto your skin, but I am going to just apply it onto my hand first.
That looks quite peachy.
Yeah, it is, but
yeah.
it actually it goes really sheer once it's on the skin. I'll just put a little bit on that.
Because I'm never sure, well, the little time that I use makeup, but the blusher, I'm never sure what shade to put on.
Which shade? Well, Peach is really gorgeous on your skin tone and your colouring. But you could use pink as well. It's really down to a personal preference, you know, it depends on how much you like to wear. But I always think Peach is a real gorgeous, healthy shade. So we just want to press it in so that it becomes like part of the skin. And then I'm going to take some of our highlighter, the Glow Easy highlighter as well, and just pop it onto the cheekbones. So this is a real soft pink.
Oh yeah.
So again, it just gives a little bit of highlight. It looks like just like a radiance on the top of your skin. So we just put it there onto the top of the cheekbones. I always put a little bit onto the nose and the sides of the forehead as well, just to bounce light away from that area. Okay, so for Yvonne's eye makeup today, I'm going to keep it nice and subtle but still defined. So we're going to go in with our Longwear cream eyeshadow stick in white gold, and I'm going to use our bronze as well. So first off, I'm going to take the white gold and I'm going to use that all over the lid. So just basically colouring in all over the lid. So this has a nice sheen to it as well, so it's going to pop the lid out. And then I'm going to go in with our bronze just in the outer corner. So just a small bit out here. And the great thing with these as well is you don't need to be neat, so I'm just going to scribble it into the corner. And if you look up for me for a second, I'm going to take a small bit underneath the lower lash line as well. And I'm going to take my pencil brush and just blend that. So again, if you look up in the air for me for a sec. Just nice and gently blend it underneath. And then if you close down, just going to blend it backwards into the white gold. Okay, so for mascara then I'm going to use our Volumizer mascara, and I'm going to give Yvonne a nice coat on the upper and lower. So if you look down for me for a second, you get right into the root and wiggle it out. And then last but not least, I'm going to do the lips. So for the lips, I've decided to go with our Plum Lip Kit because I think this time of year it's gorgeous. You could obviously go with something a little more neutral if you don't like a dark colour, but I just think this one is gorgeous. So we're going to outline the lips slightly first, just to give a little bit of shape. Outlining the lips as well will prevent any bleeding of colour when you're using a darker colour. to go in with our Plum Lip Colour. So just for hygiene, I'm going to put it out onto my hand first, and then I'm going to use our flat shadow brush to apply it. But as you probably know, I prefer going straight from the bullet when you can, because it gives a stronger colour. So if you open the lip slightly for me. And then we're going to go in with a little bit of the plum gloss over that then.
So you know how you put the lip liner on
Mm-hmm.
and then the lipstick. So
Yeah.
if you change your lipstick colour, do you have to get a different shade of lip liner then?
Well, there is ones like that available. I prefer personally to use a natural lip liner all the time.
No,
For that precise reason, is that, like, say even now if you were going out, if I had a really dark lip liner on you and you were to have a sandwich or eat something and your lipstick was to come off, you don't want to be left with a really obvious line.
yeah.
So when you use one that's really like your own natural lip colour, it means that it's going to stain the lip, but even if your lipstick comes off, you won't have this
You won't
obvious
have
line.
yeah.
So I prefer it like that. Now others use different ones, you know,
Different
but again, I try and make things as low maintenance as possible, so that you're not during the day having to be worrying about chopping up different lip liners, or has it bled, or has it smudged, you know, that kind of way. And that's Yvonne's lip on and the makeup finished. So I absolutely love this look. I think that you could use it, you know, just day to day. You could have it for a lunch out, a wedding. It's a real go anywhere type of look, yet it's a really nice natural, like the skin looks gorgeous and glowy, the eyes are lovely and bright, and I adore this lip colour as well. So I think I should show you it before we get to see what you think, even though I'm nervous that you'd be like, what is it? But there's your makeup.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's lovely.
It's not too much yet.
No,
it's
it's
nice
not
and
too
glowy.
much, no, but it's nice. Yeah, I like that lipstick.
Yeah, it's gorgeous on you, isn't
It's lovely.
it? Having your colouring. So I hope you enjoyed that one, guys, and we'll talk to you soon.